Speaking of NIL, this may be a strong statement, and you may disagree with me. I feel like the NIL has actually saved college basketball because I think the NBA, for whatever reason, over the past 5, 6 years, decided that, college basketball isn't the best way to develop players. Let's create our own G League Ignite team. And, NIL has basically extinguished that because players have finally decided, oh, I can make money. I can go to these coaches like a Rick Pitino, like a Bill Self, like
Hmm.
before he got out of it, a Jay Wright, for example. And I can get coaching. I can stay in school. I can play against these big squads. And not only that, but these kids are now staying in school. You know what? You're really talented. Some are one and done, but some are staying an extra year.
Yeah.
It's made the tournament a lot better. It's made the competition a lot better. And by the way, if you look at the recent NBA draft, I just looked this morning. The NBA draft 2, 3 years ago was nothing but international players.
Yeah.
Today's mock draft, you got to scroll down all the way to the Hornets at 13 to find an international player.
Yeah.
That is good for the game of basketball, in my opinion, as a whole.
And I definitely agree too. The one thing that's been like really nice is the competition. I mean, even with like the mid-major teams, a lot of them has
Yes.
been fantastic.
Miami's 30 and 0.
31 and 0 as of last
31.
night.
Okay, so they did win last night. Thank you for correcting me. So they're
Yeah, no
31 and 0.
problem.
And, Auburn's
We're
former head coach Bruce Pearl is up here. Well, they got to win their conference. They're 31 and 0. Like,
They should be
stop.
in. And they should be in. It's like they did everything in their power to do what they need to do. And even if they were to lose in the MAC tournament, like they should still be in. Because like, yes, is the competition the greatest? No, I think that's pretty easy to say overall in totality, but to still in this day and age in college basketball to go 31 and 0, that like teams don't do that. They
Yep,
just
I mean,
don't.
even the great teams don't do that. Even in conferences that are super weak. I mean, you look at a team like Michigan. They almost lost to Ohio State a couple times. Ohio State's pulled off some wins this year, which is the reason why, currently right now they're projected to potentially be in the tournament. And you mentioned the MAC tournament. I think that is my one problem with college basketball is to sort of go back to the conference championships in college football. I think the conference tournaments in college basketball have sort of neutralized the regular season because a team can go 500 in conference play. All of a sudden, they get hot. They win, their conference tournament, and they're in the tournament. It does feel like again. That's my only gripe there is it has diluted the regular season a little bit.
It does, but I feel the field size makes it a lot more digestible.
That makes
And
sense.
also, and one thing too that I like, and I was just rolling through scrolling through Instagram like 2 days ago, and I saw a thing like about the North Carolina State team from 2, 3 years ago with
Yeah,
and like that team was like dead in the water. They should have lost first round the ACC tournament, and they somehow made it all the way to the final four,
four.
which is an amazing story. And you wouldn't be able to have that if it wasn't for the automatic bid for winning like a conference championship. So like it. There's arguments for both sides. I
Yep.
still personally really like it. I just hate it in the going back to Miami example, for example, is like the lack of respect for mid-major conferences, especially in situations where you have a historic team, and let's just say they lose in the final against whoever they end up playing, and
Yep.
then they're like out of the tournament is absolutely absurd.
No, I
Um,
I
you
agree
have to
with
put two
you.
MAC teams in. It just you have to.
Yeah. And I've said, I personally at least am a fan of dynasties in sports because I think villains are fun to root against and help my rooting interest. The one sport I think is fun to root for the underdog is college basketball because of this one
100%.
and done.
I could not agree more. Nothing is better and nothing cements you more in just the history books than even just the tiny school and they only win the one
We
game
still
against the big
remember
school.
Florida Gulf Coast. Butler with Brad Stevens, Loyola Chicago with
UMBC,
Sister Jean.
UMBC, St. Peter's,
Yep.
uh,
Eh,
the, what was the one I'm forgetting? FDU against Purdue a couple
Yeah.
years ago. It's
The,
just like those teams are now cemented in like the stars
and
essentially.
it's always fun to find that one school and find out, oh, sometimes you're like, wait, that's actually been a school?
Yeah, like literally half the time it's like that's like I didn't even know this, you know, college existed.
And they
Or
get media attention, and then students find out, and then they probably go there, and their admissions probably go up.
oh, 100%. No, like that is 100% a thing. And it's like the uh and I don't know, you also just feel good when you're doing your bracket and you pick that upset and you
Yeah.
actually get it right. The my number one
Yeah.
example of that is when OU was in the tournament a couple years ago and the upset of Virginia, and then
Yeah.
my tell was Kent almost beat them, and OU was a better team that year, and I was like, OU should beat Virginia, and I called
Yeah.
that from a mile away, and I was like, dang, that feels good.
So tell me how you feel. You may completely disagree with me, but I actually do feel like we just talked about the NIL town and all that. I think there's a lot of good teams this year in college basketball, excuse me, but I do feel like it's a little top heavy. Your Dukes, your Arizonas,
Yeah,
Houston, Illinois. I don't think we're going to get as many early round one or two seed upsets. Maybe we feel like there could have been in the past. I have a feeling this may be a chalk year.
it, I see a decent amount like potential for like the four seeds and less for sure. Cause like Purdue's had some shaky moments.
Yep.
Alabama's had some shaky moments, but
Yep.
especially with Duke, Arizona, and Michigan in particular, those three are wood chippers. Like, especially Duke. I watched them absolutely embarrass Syracuse a couple weeks ago.
I think at
And
least two one seeds are going to make the final four.
I
My
think that
guess
that's a
would
fair
be
assumption.
Duke. My guess would be Duke and Michigan. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see where they place Houston. Whether they're going to be a one or a two seed. You know, is North Carolina, like if Caleb Wilson comes back, I believe they're projected a four or five seed right now. That's a team who, when he's healthy, they could be a one seed. And I feel the same way with Peterson in Kansas.
See, that's the interesting thing with Kansas is like they've like been on such a slide with the I'm forgetting their freshman's name, but like he's been
Peterson.
Peterson,
Yep.
that's him. He's been like all I've seen from that situation is like he's not been a good team player and it's like I don't know, it's like
Well,
little
he just came back too.
oh he did? Okay.
Yes.
So I don't know, it but here's the crazy thing too. Like we thought a couple years ago, number one seed Purdue was going to roll the tournament, and then they lost to a team
Yeah.
whose tallest guy was maybe like 6'2". And it's
Yeah.
just like that's the great thing about college basketball is like anything and everything can happen at once.
I feel like Michigan's good, but there's some nights where they don't shoot the ball well. And that's where it's like if they're not tremendous from free, they can get God. I just don't know who right now could get them, if that makes sense.
I
Obviously,
mean,
because the bracket's not out.
right. I mean, of the teams, like I'm just looking at the top 25 right now in front of me. Like if they were to meet one of these teams in the tournament, like just knowing how some teams play, like they would need to face a Michigan team that has a rough shooting night, and then they're just having a
Yep.
hot like 3-point shooting night. And I know uh, like uh, like honestly, like it would be very interesting. Probably the team I'm most interested to see in the tournament is St. Louis because like
Okay.
they have a explosive offense, and I remember, and their like main guy is Avila, who was on Indiana
Yep.
State a couple years ago, and that guy's a baller. It's and Miami too. Like do I think if my when Miami makes the tournament, they'll go far? I don't think they're going to go particularly far because like they'll finally reach the like a new level of competition. But the most impressive thing about them is they perform so unbelievably well in clutch situations. They do not panic. They
That
are,
and they play as a team. You know they have
yeah,
7 guys that average double figures. That's almost unheard of.
yeah. They are not like no one hogs the ball. They all play
Yep.
as a cohesive unit. So it's like who knows, you know?
It's going to be a wild, wild west. But here's the thing though. There's all these rumors about tournament expansion. Are they going to expand to 76, 80? Some have even proposed. I heard a 98 team expansion at one point. Like, I know things change, money's involved, etc. All the lower schools would love it because they would get paid, and I just think it's too much. I think going from 64 to 16 in 2 days is the magic, or 4 days essentially, is the magic of the tournament, and I don't think it should be expanded.
It would definitely dilute it, because it also would eliminate as many potential like epic, amazing, memorable upsets.
I mean,
Because
how is that going to? You'd have to start the tournament earlier. You would have to.
yeah, and it's not feasible to do
Like,
it
how
earlier.
many rounds are you going to have? 9 rounds.
It's perfect as is. They should not mess with it. I mean, you can even argue that having it be like 68 teams technically, because they have those two like
Yeah.
first
No,
four
I
games.
agree with you. 64 to me, let's face it, if you're a playing team, correct me if I'm wrong, has a playing team ever even made the Elite Eight? I don't think so.
I don't think so
I think there
either.
might have been one that made the Sweet 16, but I could be wrong on that too.
I I don't have that stat off the top of my head, but like again, it's one of those two is going to be a 16 seed who's more likely than not going to get absolutely thrashed. And then the other one is going to be an 11 seed typically. And again, and it's going to be like a lower tier like major conference team typically that's
Yep.
going to like maybe they win that one game against another comparable, you know, seed, but that's about it. So it's like they shouldn't expand it. I don't care. It's like it's been this way for how long now, and no one has ever complained about, well, it's too small. No, it's perfect as is.
Is there a team that isn't a 1 seed, but they're not, 7, 8. Maybe they're a 3, 4, or 5 seed potential. Maybe they're second or third in their conference that you think could go far and have a decent run in the tournament.
If I had to put some money on it, I I think the Big Ten this year has been particularly strong. Um, Nebraska has been an interesting story because they kind of came out of nowhere and like they're a gritty team.
Yep.
Um, Illinois too has like been pretty solid. Given there's so many college basketball teams, it's hard for me to like
Yeah.
dedicate a ton of time watching each one of them. But like just from like the stuff that I've seen, like I feel both of those schools have like they've had a couple losses, but like they're never getting like destroyed. They're
Droid.
never getting blown out. And like they have like good cores. If there's teams that are gonna have like a strong run late in the tournament, it's gonna be, I think, a team from the Big Ten. Um, it's gonna be like a Michigan State, a Nebraska, and Illinois, depending on how that all shakes out.
Like that clip from the Brand's World podcast? If so, make sure you go down there and hit that subscribe button. While you're down there hitting the subscribe button, make sure to also hit the notification bell so you never miss another upload. And make sure you check out all the other clips from the Brand's World podcast right here on YouTube.